The strongest argument against the existence of God as traditionally conceived is undoubtedly the problem of evil. I prefer to say the problem of suffering, because a lot of the time, being an ethical emotivist, especially a religious person, will say, well, how can you call anything evil if you've got no standard of goodness? Okay, let's not say evil then, let's say suffering. If you believe that there is a loving God who has the power to do all that is possible, and who supervises not just the goings-on of the universe, but also supervised its creation and the setting up of its parameters. And there are a few questions that jump out, a few mysteries. For example, life on Earth is the result of evolution by natural selection. That is the reason why we have such complexity and such variance of life. Natural selection is survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest is the same thing as the destruction and death and suffering of the weakest. For billions of years, there's been life on Earth, and for much of that, it's existed in a brutal competition for survival, with predation and disease, and 99.9% of all the species, let alone the creatures, but the species who've ever existed, been wiped from existence, usually in a pretty dismal manner. And all of this is built into the very mechanism by which God chose to bring about human life on Earth. Traditional religious communities believe that humans are very special. They think that we are the reason why this all exists, as opposed to other animals and other points in history, which means that all of this has occurred for our sake. It's built in. It's one thing to talk about suffering as a sort of abstract object, but it is unfathomable, truly, the amount of suffering that these animals, not just like the human species in its 200,000-year history, or I suppose the human species would be much longer than that, a few million years, but the animals who came before us and the animals who existed at the same time as us, it's genuinely unfathomable, the depths of despair and misery and suffering and torment. Meaningless torment for those animals who don't get to inherit eternal life. And we're told that for some reason God chose this mechanism to bring us into existence.